Thank you so much for joining me for an episode of Keeping It Real with America's Supermom. I'm excited to have my next guest. I have Alexis here. We've been able to connect on a Zoom call, but we wanted to take it a little deeper. So I'm excited to have her today as a guest on the show. And before we get into some great conversation, I want to give her the opportunity to introduce herself.
Hi, Lachelle. Thank you so much for having me on today. So I'm a mom, a wife, a sugar artist, and a wellness educator from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. And so we talked before, and you just do lots of different things. And so for many mothers, I really want to highlight that because, I was one who felt like I could only do one thing, which was to be a mom. I was a stay home mom, juggling the things of my children and being a wife. But you do a number of things. So, what is it that really gets you going? How do you have that mindset? Because it doesn't seem like it's a popular position to kind of be in, juggling a lot of things.
Yeah. I think over the number of years, I realized that like a lot of people always said to me, you're always so busy and you're crazy. And, just being like, I'm trying to do too many things. But I realized I'm not happy unless I'm like busier than I can be. So so I've kind of learned to accept that, and I'm always intrigued by new learning and new ideas, and I'm always like digging into new stuff. So back in 2005 when my son was born, I was a stay-at-home mom taking care of my newborn and doing that, and then slowly I did have a jewelry background, so I was dabbling in my jewelry business. And then as time went on, I learned about making cakes because my kids needed birthday cakes. And so I was dabbling in that, and it just turned into a business. And I kind of have an entrepreneur mindset. So I just did I did what I wanted to do, but I didn't want to give up raising my kids. So I just find a way to juggle it all and handle my kids and my business at the same time.
I love that. So, what are some of the things that are non negotiable for you? I had to learn this the hard way. I went through depression and hospitalization. I mean, people can read about me and see that, but, I was getting it wrong for so long. So, what are some things that, you just say, hey, this is a non negotiable, this has to happen in order for you to maintain that type of arrangement with juggling all the things that you do?
Yeah, I mean, like, first of all, it's always my kids always come first. So my business is a little bit more flexible. And my non-negotiables are is that I need to have flexibility. I need to be able to move things if I have to. But at the same time, one of my businesses is cake decorating. And when I have a deadline, I do have to make that deadline. So it is you know, a tight schedule. But when, like I said, my kids come first, so I try to lay out all of their activities, all of the really important things that I feel like I need to be at. And I will put the other things off, like on my husband, or try to get other people to help them with things that are not earth-shatteringly important that I feel like I need to be at. And so those are the times that I'm able to fit in more of my business stuff.
I love
Um,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, and so what do you do to kind of keep yourself into this mindset? What is some daily self-care practices or just your routine in general that helps you, just stay conscious and present about those type of non-negotiables?
Yeah, so actually a few years ago, probably about I'm trying to think like almost 8 years ago, I was at a point of burnout just because I was trying to do too much. I was being mom all day, staying up all night doing my cakes. And I was at that point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. And then I found a community that's very into healthy living, um, some more plant-based eating, but not strict. So I just learned more ways of self-care and I just totally fell in love with it. One of them is just making sure I'm getting enough sleep because if we're not sleeping enough, I don't know. I don't know about you, but I'm a mess when I don't sleep enough. So that alone, getting my sleep and drinking more water seem so simple, but they are life changing. And it really just, those two things that I focused on first really, really helped put me in the right, on the right path, and learning that I can't do everything. So I will take the amount of orders that I can do and not more than that. So I don't stay up all night, so that I am up and I'm able to function in the morning and get my kids to school and where they need to be. And then everything fits in around that. And also, I found a way to eat healthier. So I love flooding my body with more fruits and vegetables, and just becoming more mindful of how foods make me feel, so that I know when I'm not feeling right and get back on the right track.
I love that. And I love the thing about flooding your body with healthy food. So, talk to us a little bit about how that is a way that you accomplish that. How do you do that?
Yeah, so every day I take produce powder in a capsule, which has been amazing. I have it gives me a wide variety of 30 fruits and vegetables, and that is kind of like my foundation. And then on top of that, I'll start my day off with a smoothie, which I'll throw in a bunch of, so I garden as well. So I will throw in stuff from my garden, and with like a base of almond milk or coconut milk, something like that, blend it up. So then I'm starting off my day with a plant-based shake that satisfies me. And then throughout the day, and don't get me wrong, I eat my French fries and my hamburgers, and I go off track plenty, but I like to say, if I'm starting off my day with a good foundation, then when I get off track, it's easy to get back on track. So yeah, starting my day off that way really helps.
That is wonderful. And then gardening, a lot of people are like, that sounds good. I need to grow my own food. I don't have enough time. What are some key tips that you can tell someone who's watching that may want to get started with having a garden?
Yeah, so I use an amazing system called the Tower Garden, and it is called aeroponic, and it's a vertical garden. It's water and air, and there's a pump that pumps that water up. So it's actually, I had an in-ground garden for years, and I always struggled with it because I would forget to water it. And that is a key feature. And then one day I set up this whole system of like sprinklers and timers, and my kids moved it. And for probably 2 weeks, I didn't realize it, but my kids moved it in front of our family room door. So it was going off at like in the middle of the night, and ended up like causing a flood in in the room, which was horrible. So after that was when I learned about this tower garden, and it changed my life. I now have four of them. One I grow inside, three I grow outside in the summer. And I'm not having to weed. I set the timers on that. My kids can't move them, and it's been great. They do all the work. I just have to make sure the water's filled like every week.
Wow. And so what type of things are you growing on your gardens?
Oh, I grow everything. Right now I have butternut squash, spaghetti squash, zucchini, cucumbers, jalapeno peppers, and then I have a bunch of lettuce and kale and parsley and basil, you name it. I have cherry
Awesome.
tomatoes. Those are just starting to get ripe, so I'm so excited.
That is so awesome. Okay. So, and sounds like a good project for the kids to get involved in too.
Yes, definitely. I actually have a cooking class for kids that I do in my local elementary schools, and we do base it around the Tower Garden, where I love showing kids where food comes from. It's so amazing to like introduce a vegetable, watch them, show them how it grows, and then show them how to cook it in simple recipes, and realize that vegetables can taste good, because most kids are kind of like, yeah, yuck, I don't want to eat that. But it's kind of fun to play with the food, and get them a little bit more relaxed around the fruits and vegetables.
That's good. So what are some of the ingredients that, they feel shocked by or they're most interested in when it comes to you cooking, the vegetables?
Yeah, so my favorite recipe, I always start my class with this. It's called cauliflower popcorn, and it's actually not cooked at all. It's just raw, and we crumble it up into little pieces, and we add some spices like garlic powder, and olive oil, salt, and pepper, and then the popcorn, because I get them to jump around and pop it in a bag. So I would say 95% of the kids love this. And when we start out, they are like, ew, cauliflower, they're not open to eating it, but then they try it. And most of the kids really, really like it. And I get a lot of great feedback from that recipe.
Now that's a good one. I'm gonna try that with my kids.
It's awesome. When you make it fun, like, it's not always a winner, but it gets a
Right.
lot.
A lot of times, I like the fact that you create a memory out of it or some experience. And that's half the battle. It's like, if McDonald's can teach our kids to, crave a happy meal for the toy, of course we can come up with some creative experience. And I think for someone had shown us how to make like buffalo cauliflower. You put it in the oven and bake it just like, boneless chicken wings, but
Yes, I love that.
you can make it breaded and fry it and whatever. And, you wouldn't be none the wiser, that
I
everybody is
totally-
just thinking it's good. So I love that. So, what are some things that moms can do? Like what are some quick morning recipes? You mentioned smoothies, but some ways that they can naturally get more vegetables and fruit, for their kids. Because I know a lot of them, it's like, the same old Pop Tarts or, cereal, something really quick. So, what are some ideas that you can provide?
Yeah, I love talking to parents about like new, and quick and easy healthy meals that they can make. So for breakfast, one thing is the smoothie. It's very versatile, and when you let your kids make it, you have a better chance of actually wanting them to drink it. Sometimes when you just hand it to them, they don't want to. So smoothies are a great thing. You just always want to make sure you're not putting too much fruit in it because the fruit is sugar, even though it's healthy. It's not. You don't want too much sugar. And then is in addition, there's something called a chia pudding, which is really good. You can put chia seeds and some kind of flavoring. Like I love to do banana and cinnamon and kind of make it almost like a bread pudding flavor. Um, and I put that in and I mix it up with like almond milk or coconut milk, put the chia seeds in and then put it in the fridge overnight. And then it becomes like a thick pudding. So then you put it in a bowl, you can put your toppings on, you can get berries and everything and have the kids dress it on. And, sometimes they even put chocolate chips because all kids love chocolate chips. So you add a little bit more fun and you put that on top. And I do a similar thing with oatmeal where you can make it overnight oats and I get the little mason jars and we put a little scoop of probably like a quarter cup scoop of oats in it. And then same thing, I let the kids help me. I put the almond milk in and they can make it whatever flavor they want. And then the next morning they're soft and you can either put them in the microwave for a sec to warm it up, or some people like it cold. And top it, nuts, berries, chocolate chips, you know, a little maple syrup, always good. So those are a couple of quick breakfasts. Also, like some little balls. Sometimes I take oats. My favorite one is taking oats, and I have this vanilla protein shake that I like. I put that in there. Some pumpkin puree. I'm trying to think of the recipe. There's some honey in there, and I stir it all up and make balls out of it. So my daughter loves those.
Wow. I
Yeah.
mean, you're creative. That's some good stuff. I love that. Now, so, having a business, I think, a lot of times we are such an example for our children. They watch a lot of the things that we do. So, for people who are entrepreneurs, and mothers, of course, what are some tips that you could provide when it comes to running your business and being an example for your children? Are they involved in some of your business at all? Is there a discussion around it? How is it that you kind of run your business with your kids?
Yeah, my kids are very involved in such like we talk about it all the time. They know what I'm doing and when they don't. So my son is very much like me. He has an entrepreneurial mind. He's always got his wheels spinning. So he is very much more involved than my daughter, who knows what I'm doing, but is not really into helping out as much. But she does when I ask her to. So when we're under a deadline and I need help, I'm like, cut some ribbon for me, or give her a job to do, and she does help out. But my son is all in there, calculating costs, figuring out how much time something takes, and he really likes to jump in there. And like, I would recommend any parent who works get their kids involved, because there's just so many great lessons to learn, even if they're not going to be an entrepreneur. There's just so many great lessons in building your own business to teach your kids.
So true. I love that. Well, this has just been a great conversation. I think it's really important as moms to see that, we can go beyond the limits that sometimes society has for us and even our own mindset. I know for me, for years, I thought, well, I'm a mom. I have to put my career on the hold. Met my husband in college, got a degree, but that was something that was put on the shelf until, I had my own journey and realized there's got to be a way that I can do this while being a mom. So I think that is one of the things that is really, really important to highlight, because so many women sacrifice a lot of times their own happiness and value, feeling like that they can contribute just because they are a mom.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think we all, even if, being the fact that we want to balance being a mom and we don't want to give that up or turn it over to someone else. I mean, it's, we might not be like, taking the world by fire, but that's all right. I don't think we have to build the biggest business in the world. I think we can build successful businesses that are inspiring and that fulfill us. And that's enough, because our kids will grow up one day and we'll have time to do more. And for now, it's also important to be there for our kids.
So true. So what is the best way for the audience to get a hold of you?
Well, I have a link tree, which I can send you the link for. And I can always give you my email if somebody wants to reach out. Would you like me to give you the link right now, or?
Actually, we can just put it in the
Okay, yeah.
contact information.
Contact
Yeah.
info. My link tree has all the different things I'm doing, since I'm kind of in a few different directions. That seems to be working the best for me.
Awesome. Well, what closing remarks would you like to share with the moms, with the business owners, whatever's on your heart, the closing remarks that you want to share?
I just want to share that, like, if anybody has any trouble trying to balance their work and their mom life, and I am here, I'm a wellness educator, so I love to just provide tips and tricks. And soon I'm going to be doing a Zoom call, just kind of like a coffee, maybe once a month or every 2 weeks, for just to get together and talk about burnout and what we can do to make life a little bit more balanced. So if
Uh,
anybody's interested in that, I'd love to, please reach out.
that is amazing. And I love just the proactive approach with some of these topics, because, it right now, especially, it is very well needed with a lot of people reinventing themselves or their industries changing due to this pandemic. So definitely, if you guys are intrigued or that resonates with you, please feel free to reach out to Alexis. And in the meantime, we really want to thank you so much, Alexis, for being on and sharing your wisdom and insight. Like I said, I believe it was very beneficial for many mothers out here, especially to realize they can live life beyond the limits that other people may have for them.
Well, thank you so much for having me on, and I was so happy to like share with you and have such a wonderful conversation about it.
Awesome. Well, one we might have to come have you back on, and we can do a segment with our kids, maybe cooking something, so we can show people.
That would
A
be
lot of that would be fun, because I know that people learn by example. We can talk about all these recipes. It's like looking at a magazine, and I tear out recipes and never go back to them, right? So sometimes you got to be in the moment and be a demonstrator, right?
definitely. I think showing does a lot more than just talking about it.
So true. So we can set that up. So that'd be great. But we want to thank you guys so much for watching with us today. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comments section. We'll be sure that Alexis can get them. But in the meantime, take to heart the things that she said. If it resonated with you, reach out to her. Having a conversation can really expand your limits and help you to live a more fulfilled life and be a better version of yourself. So we want to thank you guys for watching this episode, and we will see you on the next one. Bye for now, everybody.